Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest series of interviews with Focus Gaming News. Today, we are joined by Elad Beni of Tenlot Group, and he is the Vice President of Marketing at the company. Elad, thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Hey, it's a pleasure being here. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good to hear. So, Elad, tell us a little bit about what you're doing at Tenlot Group.
Sure, with pleasure. So basically, I have let's say, an odd combination of positions, if you wish. I'm the VP Marketing and Payment Solution. It doesn't always go together, but considering my background in the industry, we were able to combine it in order to somehow centralize the tasks. So the what we call launching of the new projects that we are currently working on. And I believe that with time, we will somehow separate it. But as I said, currently it's being done together and overseen by me.
Of course, for sure. And so you mentioned a little bit about payments. So with regards to retail and online, do you see much of a difference between that, and especially so in other parts of the world, like for example Latin America?
Yeah, that's a good question. So first, with your permission, I will start by discussing the so-called payments world in the retail versus the online. It's a totally different world, basically. Although the retail payments is becoming more and more advanced with very creative solutions, it is still well cash-based, meaning a potential customer would either walk into a shop or approach one of the kiosks and literally pay cash as if as if you go to buy Coca-Cola. While in the online, as you probably wouldn't be surprised, Danny, the variety of payment options is wide and interesting. Of course, from the conservative credit card transactions to bank transfers to different e-wallet solutions, and of course cryptocurrency, which is basically taking more and more, becoming more and more popular in recent years. So to answer the question, yes, it's totally different. And one of the challenges, which I believe we will discuss later during the conversation, is to basically try to utilize the tools that we have in the online and to somehow apply it to the offline, the retail, and vice versa, but mostly online to retail. When it comes to answer your second question, when it comes to discussing the payment solutions in LATAM, in specific, the online payment solutions, I would say that it's a very much a mixture of the retail becoming an online, and I will explain. A lot of the activity in LATAM is cash-based. Now, it doesn't mean that people don't actually use the online services. They do. So that's when the payment solution companies, I guess, are coming into place, and they're able to collect the money and to digitalize it.
Okay. And considering that LATAM has been traditionally quite a cash-based society, what are the unique challenges of trying to convince more people to take up alternative payment methods?
Yeah. So basically, at the end of the day, it is much easier to for an operator, and from an operator's point of view, to have everything centralized, at the tip of your fingers, meaning just as if you access your bank account. So for us, as operators, we would always look for the safer and most organized way to, let's say, be able to charge and be able to settle. Okay, it's important also to talk about the other side of the coin, meaning you have to pay people and you want to do it in an accurate way and in the fastest way and the most secured way possible. So this would be obviously the biggest reason and the most important reason, in my opinion, at least for the operators, to try and look for creative and digital ways to collect and to send money back. Mm-hmm. As for, I mean, if we talk about the other side of our business, of course, the most important one, the customers, I believe that at least most of them, or a lot of them, feel the same. They want to have a safe environment. They don't want to be carrying cash on them, okay? And they want to be able to see the money in their account as soon as possible. So all that, I think, basically translates to people that are actually looking to play online into one, let's say, clear message that if the solution is there, if the possibility is there, then why not use it?
For sure. And with regards to the operators themselves, how does Tenlot help with the struggles that they might face on the way?
Okay, so speaking about our main project now, El Salvador, what we're trying to do is we're trying to work in parallel. Okay, so of course we constantly we constantly search for new payment solutions. Okay. Whether cash-based or online-based, we as I said, we constantly are looking. We're in a constant search for more and more solutions. Okay, this is for a few main reasons. One is in order to make the customers, the end users' lives easier, because you may have one solution and I may not have it, and if we both register into Dalet.sv, and you find your own and I cannot find what I use, then I as an operator, as Dale, may lose the customer. So of course, the wider the variety is, the easier it would be to to gain more market share, customers. I mean, now when it comes to basically considering all aspects in a given market, and going back to El Salvador, for example, we basically we invest a lot of time and effort in opening new kiosks, new shops, street shops. Today we have over 50 shops around El Salvador, with the goal of basically doubling it by the end of this year, 2021. And tripling it by the end of 2022. Okay. Now, by opening those shops, by collaborating with the local vendors to open let's say kiosks or shop in shop, we become more available to customers that are still not ready to deposit online and are still interested in depositing and using their cash money to place a bet or even to open an account. So by doing that, we basically strive to provide all kind of end users, all kinds of solutions, from cash to hybrid to clean and clear digital ways to pay.
Of course. And El Salvador is an interesting case as well, because of course they've recently accepted cryptocurrencies.
Exactly.
As well.
Exactly.
Do you think that might speed up the process of digital adoption by any chance, or do you think that it's not going to make much of a difference?
The fact that El Salvador declared itself a crypto country, so to speak?
Yes. So do you think that will inspire maybe more people to move towards a digital payment route?
Yes, indeed. I strongly believe that it will actually have a positive effect on people, wanting to look into more and more digital solutions. The crypto by itself is basically the mother of all digital solutions. Sure. And by El Salvador declaring itself as a crypto country, so to speak, I believe that it's going to take time, of course, just like anything else, but with legitimacy come the will to use, I guess.
Of course. And with that increased interest, of course, more retailers will move online too. So what do you think are the biggest pitfalls for those companies when they move from a land-based model to online? Because of course they're very different and there are a lot of things that need to be avoided. So what do you think they should look out for?
So that's the thing. I believe that the picture, the situation or the scenario is not necessarily moving from to. I believe that it's combining between the two because,
Okay.
you know, I guess that if let's say you and I will be around for another 200 years, we will still see land-based casinos because it's a beautiful experience. Tons of people are traveling to Vegas every year, not considering the COVID-19, just in order to see, breathe, and touch the land-based experience. It's a magnificent experience, whether it's in Vegas or in Macau or in you name it. In the Philippines, in Manila. The experience is overwhelming, like in a good way. So I don't believe that that land-based casinos will ever disappear, and I think that they shouldn't. I think that they should stay exactly as they are. What I want to say is that I believe that the crossover between online and land-based, platform-wise, casino, like hotel-wise, payments-wise, will somehow become more gray than online and offline. It's gonna be like a hallway for companies, and I believe it's being done currently in the United States, where big casino groups signed deals with joint ventures with big online casino groups, and it would be the same product walking with you wherever you are, meaning you will probably carry the brand with you from Vegas home and back to Vegas when you fly there with your friends or family, and leave the tablet or cell phone or laptop in the room, and then go down to the casino. So what I want to say is that I believe that it's going to be more of a crossover rather than a separation and a final decision of where we go.
Okay, so it's basically like when you move from your iPhone and then do the same things on your Mac when you get home.
Exactly.
Sort of that kind of
Exactly.
crossover.
That's how I see it. Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so with regards to, do you think that those casinos, do you think that they will try to channel those players still online? Like, what are your thoughts on the things that are necessary to channel players from retail to online when they're away from the casinos, or do you think they're two different demographics?
I believe that with the regulation of major countries around the world, such as the US, different states, such as LATAM, Brazil is on its way. Argentina is already, again, by states. El Salvador is a good example. Different countries in Africa, Spain, Italy. I believe that with the world being more and more regulated, okay, the operations, the marketing, and the whole business would become more centralized, okay? Meaning each country, each state would basically be somehow like autonomy, and I believe that being being in such a very centralized environment, I believe that the land-based casinos and their partners, the online partners, would become one in a way. Okay, so speaking about the customers' demographics, okay, this whole trend would make the online, for example, available in easier and simpler ways. That's how I see it, to customers that, if you take it 10, 15 years back, may not even try to use it, and now, because they will see it everywhere, because it will feel and smell the same, would dare to try it. And going back to the payments solutions, if the digitalizing of the cash solutions, okay, of the cash payments, would become even easier than it is now, and it's getting there, then the transition between one and the other one for the land-based, so-called demographics, would be not as extreme as it is.
Okay.
I hope I make sense. I know that it was a long story, but what I'm trying to say is that the more technology can become very, very complicated, but in a very, I would say, clear oxymoron, it makes things much, much simpler. So once it is being handed to you, to me, as okay, this is your daily, those are your daily tools now. We realize that it's easy. And once we realize that it's easy, we cannot look back at 6 years ago when we didn't have different digital options that we use today as standard.
For sure. Do you still think that there are still some differences between online and offline players, though, like the main type of people who go to it?
Yeah.
And if so, what do you think is?
Definitely. That's an interesting question. And the answer is absolutely yes. I believe that the offline so-called customers, players, are different in a few main ways. One, and because of the nature of, let's call it the product, okay? When you go to place one single bet, you will most likely not experience any other activity that the kiosk has to offer, right? Because you go there with X amount of money, whether it's $1 USD or 1,000, and you place your bet or your few bets, and you wait on the results or you leave, and that's it. As opposed to a customer who logs into his or her account, and the whole casino is basically in your hand, right? And so if let's say you are a blackjack player, you might be picked by by some colorful game, and you would tell yourself, okay, I want to try this, and it doesn't mean that you have to shell money off your pocket physically in order to try it. So you're already in the client, in the process, in the game. So for you to move from one game to another is with one click. While in the kiosk, you really have to move yourself. You have to be, as much as it sounds awkward, but you have to be physical. You have to make a decision. You have to use your hands. You have to point at what you want. It's different.
Of course. And to get a little bit paradoxical in that sense, do you think that technology can help to acquire retail players?
Yes, I believe so. And I will explain why. I believe that, as I said before, the more information we have about the different types of potential customers, the more technology can be there for them, okay? So whether it's the type of game or whether it's the type of payment method, we know how to, pick your interest, all right? So of course, when something is online and it's every millisecond is recorded, it's much easier to trace the behavior and to try and be more interesting in front of that specific user. But still, it doesn't mean that the information you collect, of course, with the consent of the customer, but the information that you collect from the retail cannot be used. It can be used, and it can be used to make, like I said, their life easier and more interesting.
For sure. Okay. Well, that's all of the questions that I had for today. So is there anything, like any final thoughts that you'd like to wrap up on?
So first of all, I want to thank you, Danny. It was an interesting conversation. I'm sure we will do it again. I guess the only thing to be said is that the online gambling industry, in my opinion, was always, fast and bubbly. Some people tend to say that it used to be much more than that back in 2000. I feel that it's still, in its own ways, of course, rocking in terms of all the new features and companies and, acquisitions that are taking place in the market recently by big companies buying new and interesting companies. I guess this what makes business. It's like a playground for everybody. And online and retail, I guess it's the next challenge, and hoping to see us as part of this challenge.
So that was Elad Beni, the Vice President of Marketing at Tenlot Group. Thank you for joining us today, and we look
Thank you.
forward to hopefully having you soon.
For sure. Thank you very much.